George Washington University law professor Jeffrey Rosen first met Justice Ginsburg in an elevator in 1991 when he was just a young law clerk for the U.S. Court of Appeals. That brief encounter led to a nearly 30-year friendship that included the justice officiating at his wedding to his wife, Lauren. He is the author of the book Conversations with RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, on life, love, liberty, and law. He joins us now from Washington. Jeffrey, good morning.
Good morning.
What do you remember from that very first encounter with RBG?
Well, I remember I was incredibly intimidated because she was coming down from a workout routine and she was completely silent. So to break the ice, because I couldn't think of anything else to say, I said, "What operas have you seen recently?" And that was just the right question to ask. She just blossomed and she got really enthusiastic and we started talking about opera. I didn't even know she was an opera fan. And that began this lifelong friendship, which is one of the greatest blessings and honors of my life, which was based on 30 years of conversations about music, life, and law.
Opera, not a question would come off the top of my head. Can you tell us your thoughts on both her life and her passing?
It's impossible to overstate the degree to which she inspired everyone who spent time with her to be our best self. The National Constitution Center, which I had just did an amazing tribute video to her, which broadcast 2 nights ago, and it's astonishing to watch. I hope you'll check it out online. We assembled her favorite opera singers and also special friends like Gloria Steinem, Kate McKinnon, who plays her on Saturday Night Live, Jennifer Lopez, others who met and admired her. And all of them talked about the same fact that whenever you're not using every moment of the day productively, focused on helping others and improving society, you think, what would RBG do? And then you just buckle down and get back to work. And it's just the most daunting example of self-discipline and devotion to the ideal of a more equal America that any of us has ever encountered. And as a result, we were honored to live in the presence of one of the most influential advocates for constitutional change in American history. She is a figure of historic proportions, as Chief Justice Roberts said, and it was such an honor to have the blessings of knowing her.
So much was covered in her life, and your book tried to cover so many of those topics and conversations that span decades. What did you want people to take away from it?
Be your best self. Work on, just using her words, work on something larger than yourself that can improve society and help the less fortunate. Be inspired by how much you can accomplish every day if you set aside unproductive emotions. Her mother told her this, and she often noted that when you get caught up in anger, jealousy, and fear, you get distracted from productive work. It's very hard, and she did it better than anyone else, but just using every moment of the day to be your best self and to help others be their best self and to improve society. It's just an inspiration for all of us.
Professor, in the last decade or so, she went from not just Supreme Court justice to cultural icon, RBG. What did she make of that notoriety, and how did it change her?
She was amused by it, and it didn't change her. Of course, she didn't know who the notorious B.I.G. was. Her law clerks had to tell her, basically. And she was so surprised when people would stop her on the street and ask her to take selfies. Remember, she was a judge's judge. She'd really just been very under the radar for, even when she joined the Supreme Court, there was nothing compared to her current celebrity. But there was a big change in 2013 in her dissenting opinions, and she started to speak with great force and power because she thought the Supreme Court had changed and it was her responsibility to speak for the voice of liberalism. And those unbelievable dissenting opinions are so inspiring. It would be great for viewers to read them today to remind them of her liberal legacy.
Well, thank you, Professor Rosen, for sharing at such a difficult time and in the time of loss. We appreciate it.